What's up guys, welcome to the channel, and in today's video we are going to talk about formatted strings in Python. Some may call it as F strings, and usually many people will use these formatted strings in their Python code. For example, in the last few exercises, the people who have been giving me solutions, they have actually used formatted strings, and the people who are beginners who actually do not know about formatted strings, they keep asking them in the comment section that what is this that you have used. So I hope that this video also clears their doubts, and I'm going to quickly make a new Python file right here. And basically guys, formatted strings are used in order to involve a variable inside a string. So I'm going to write f string, and after that I'm going to close the other tabs. So as you can see guys right here that I have opened my Python file, and after that I'm going to write the heading that is formatted strings. And now I'll make a variable and I'll name it as str. So str will be equal to this is, and after that I'm going to write another variable and I'm going to name it as me. So I'm going to write this is unch, and after that I'm going to print str plus me. So as you can see guys that this will print this is unch, and I'll have to put a space right here. So if I run this program right here, as you can see, it will print this is unch, nothing special, we have learned about it. And if I print it like this, that is if I write str and after that I'll put a percentage s, that stands for a string, and after that I'll put percentage and then me. And if I print str right here, as you can see, it will print this is unch. So that's how guys we can include the variables inside different strings. For example, as you can see right here, I've got a variable named me, so I included it by writing a percentage method right here. That is, I wrote a percentage s, and after that I wrote percentage me. That signifies that the me variable right here, it represents the percentage s. Similarly, if I make another variable right here, and if I write another name, and if I write it as James, as you can see right here, I will write this is unch and percentage s, and after that I will make a tuple right here and I'll write another name. So if I print str right here, as you can see, it will print this is unch and James. So as you can see right here guys, it has printed this is Ansh and James, and that's how basically the percentage thing works. That is, whatever you write right here, that is the first variable, that will be the first percentage s that you have written here, and for integers that will be percentage d, and similarly for float it will be percentage f. So I hope that guys you understood how the percentage works, and this was a really bad method in order to write a string, because now in Python we have a better method, that is formatted strings. And guys, if you have a lot of variables, for example thousands and 20 variables, then if you write it like this, you will be really confused that which variable is where and where it will be printed, and this will make a really big confusion in the program, and it will also affect the readability. So I'll comment this out right here. I'll comment everything out because I also need to give you the code. So after that I'll write a variable right here, that is me is equal to unch, and after that I'll write the same variable, that is str this is, and in this case I'm going to write two brackets. So these are the two curly brackets that will be here, and after that I'm going to write str dot format, and I'm going to write me. So if I print str, as you can see guys, if I run this program, it has printed this is brackets, but I'll actually have to store it in another variable. So I'll write b is equal to str dot format, and if I print b right here, as you can see, it will print that this is unch. So guys, as you can see, I have wrote str.format, and this right here, it signifies that I have formatted the str string. That is when you put these curly brackets right here, and when you put the variable that is me, the variable right here, it will replace the curly bracket, and you'll have to store it in another variable in order to print it. So if I don't want to use the other variable, I can write print str.format me. So I'll cut this, and after this I'll write it inside the print statement. So if I run this, it will print the same thing, that is this is unch. And if I write another curly bracket right here, and if I write format me, and after that I'll again write me. So I'll make another variable by the way, and I'll write name is equal to bond, and after that I'll put me comma name. And if I run this program right here, as you can see, it will print this is Ansh bond. So that's how the formatted strings works in this case. And guys, if I write 1 inside the bracket, and after that if I write 0 inside this bracket, as you can see guys, in this bracket right here, me is at the 0th index and name is at the first index. So this is bond Anch will be printed, because as you can see right here guys, I have put 0 inside the bracket and I have put 1 here. So the formatted string will put the name on the first position and me on the 0th position. So if I run this program right here, as you can see, it is printed this is bond Anch. So I hope guys that you understood how we can format strings in this way. But in Python 3, the Python developers have done a great job and they have made it actually easier for us, and the readability of the program, they have actually made it easier. So if I comment this out, and I'll show you now what is f strings. Now guys, in Python 3, the Python developers have done a really good job. That is that they have put out f strings, and this method, it was basically used in Python 2 and the versions that were earlier. So in Python 3 we have got f strings, and it assesses us to include variables inside our strings, and it really makes the code readable. But guys, why can't we use this method right here? Guys, for example, in the similar case, if you have 20 or 30 variables, if you add it right here, as you can see, we have got so much of confusion. So if you are going to try with 20 or 10 variables, you are going to get confused really quickly because you don't know which variable is going where, and this would just ruin the code readability. So if I write me is equal to Anch again, and I'll not write Anch, but I'll write 34 this time. And after that, if I write str, and I'll write this is a number, and the value is, and if I put f string, that is I'll have to put f in front of the double quotes. So I'll write f, and after that if I put a bracket right here, that is a curly bracket, as you can see guys, the PyCharm ID shows me something blue. That means that I can put any variable inside these two curly brackets, and this string right here, it will render this string with the variable. So if I write me right here, and after that if I print str, and I'll run this program right here, as you can see, it has printed this is a number and the value is 34. So that means that whatever variable you create here, it will go inside this curly bracket and it will stay there. So that's how the f string works. And basically I'll just cut this because I don't want to use extra variables, and I'll put it inside this f statement. And as you can see guys, we have put an f string inside the print function. So if I write me is equal to Anch, and if I run this program right here, similarly it has printed this as a number and the value is Anch. So that's how we can use f strings in Python. Basically you just have to put an f in front of the double quotes, and you have to put curly brackets, and inside the curly brackets you need to put the variable which you want in the string. Now many people will argue that we can do it with the help of plus as well. For example, if I write the value of this is me, and if I run this program, this will give me the same output, and I'll actually have to put a space here to show you the similar output. So as you can see guys, this will give me the similar output. But guys, if you have 20 or 10 variables just like that, these variables you cannot write plus everywhere. And if you have the courage to write that, you can do so, but it will just ruin the code readability, and also that for the person who is reading the code, he won't actually find it really interesting. And it also helps you for debugging purposes. So guys, an f string is a really good method in order to include a variable inside strings. So for example, if I have a variable named number, and if I put 405, and if I want to include that number, so I can write a curly bracket, and inside the curly bracket I'll write the number. And similarly it will print this is a number and the value is Anch 405, and this is how we can use the f string. I hope that you guys understood. And if I, for example, if I import a math module, and after that if I write math dot factorial, and if I put 5 here, so it should put 120, And if I run this program right here, as you can see, it has printed unch 405, and after that it has printed 120. So in that manner you can also use the modules, that is the math module and whichever module that you want to use, and you can use their functions inside the string itself. So I hope that you guys understood today's video, and if you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Guys, if you haven't accessed my Python for Absolute Beginners playlist, the link is in the description. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you're safe, and I'll see you next time.